500. That is all. Not in one region, not in one country, in the entire world. Scientists know each one by name. They know where it slept last week. They know how many cubs it has raised. 40 years of behavioral records on a single species. And yet, the Siberian tiger still surprises them. Not occasionally, regularly. The animal keeps producing behavior that has no explanation. Things that do not fit any model. Things that, when written into field reports, get described with a word scientists use very rarely: unexpected. 384 kilograms, 12 feet from nose to tail, a skull larger than a human head, canine teeth 7 centimeters long, longer than most kitchen knives, and they never stop growing. Walking through snow at minus 50 degrees, as if it does not exist. On this earth for 2 million years, it outlasted the woolly mammoth, the cave lion. Every large predator that shared its world is gone. The Siberian tiger is still here. Modern humans have existed for 300,000 years. The Siberian tiger was here 1.7 million years before us. From a standing start, it reaches 60 kilometers per hour in under 2 seconds. Each stride at full sprint exceeds 6 meters. The entire attack, from launch to impact, takes less than 1/3 of a second. Its bite force reaches 1,050 pounds per square inch. Scientists have recovered prey skulls with entry wounds punched through 3 centimeters of solid bone. The bone looks like it was hit with a hydraulic press. Its claws never touch the ground. They retract completely into sheathed muscle. This is why the deadliest animal on 4 legs arrives in silence. This is not a film about any of that. This is about the moments that made field researchers stop writing, look up from their notes, and say, that should not have happened. 2019, the land of the leopard reserve, Russia. Camera trap footage. An elk carcass in a clearing. 1 tiger feeding. Then, a second tiger enters the frame. Both collared, both documented rivals. Years of territorial conflict between them. Camera trap records show each animal actively avoiding locations recently used by the other. No fight, no threat display, nothing. They fed side by side. For 4 days, 96 hours of continuous footage. 2 documented enemies, in proximity, without a single act of aggression. The lead researcher wrote, inconsistent with any established model of solitary male tiger behavior, which means no explanation exists. 1997, the Sikhoty-Alin Reserve, Russia. A poacher shot a tiger, not a fatal wound, and walked away. Day 1, the tiger followed his trail. Day 2, still following. Day 12, it stood outside his shelter. In those 12 days, the tiger passed within range of 3 other humans. A hunter, a forestry worker, a local guide. It ignored every one of them. It was looking for one specific person. Tigers do not pursue. They are ambush predators. They wait, they strike once, and it is finished. This one chased. 12 days, a wounded shoulder, frozen terrain. Past 3 other humans it did not want. People call it revenge. Scientists say that is not a rigorous term, but they do not have the correct word either. 2014. A female tiger lost her cub to disease, 8 months old, 96 hours. She did not leave the body. She groomed it. She vocalized in ways never recorded from her before. When the research team removed the carcass, she returned to the empty location, stood there, left, came back, stood in the exact same spot again. The researcher who documented it was asked, "What did you think you were watching?" She said, "In scientific terms, I cannot answer that. In human terms, I know exactly what I saw." 2011, Primorsky Krai, Russia. A camera trap recorded a tiger eating specific plants. The same plants used in traditional indigenous medicine across Russia's Far East for their anti-inflammatory properties. For centuries, researchers checked the GPS data. The animal had been moving asymmetrically for 2 weeks. A soft tissue injury, right shoulder. 3 days of consumption. The asymmetry disappeared. The Siberian tiger lives completely alone. No one taught it. No one showed it. It found the answer by itself. Field researchers observing tiger hunts began documenting something they could not explain. A tiger in full stalking position, prey undetected, a clean opportunity. It stood up and walked away, not retreating, walking away so the prey could see it, then circling, approaching from a different direction. Prey threat level reset. Hunt completed. This has been documented in 14 separate sequences across 3 research sites. Success rate for deliberate false retreats was significantly higher than standard tiger ambush success rates. To execute this, an animal must understand that the prey has a mind, that fear can be managed, that your absence changes something inside it. This is not hunting strategy. This is manipulation. We believed only humans and great apes were capable of that. One more thing, the Siberian tiger purrs like a domestic cat, but from a body of 300 kilograms, audible at 10 meters. Every researcher who has heard it close describes the same moment. Everything in the brain that filed this animal under danger is suddenly receiving a signal that says contentment, and the body does not know what to do with that. Researcher Dale McKell, 20 years in the field, same animals, same territory. He began noticing that tigers he had previously captured behaved differently when they encountered him again. A changed quality of attention, something that was difficult to put into a field report. He described it, eventually, as recognition. A female designated FA-21, captured twice. Last contact 4 years earlier. When she crossed his path again, her response to him was measurably different from her response to an unfamiliar team in the same territory 2 weeks before. No evolutionary reason for this, no survival advantage, no explanation. FA-21 remembered a face she had seen twice, 4 years apart. Throughout Russia's Far East, certain trees function as information exchanges. A single tree can carry the molecular signatures of 6 or 7 individual tigers accumulated over months. Each mark encodes identity, health, reproductive state, and precisely when the mark was left. A tiger visiting one of these trees receives a complete census of who is active in the area, who is left, and whether arrival's marks are fresh or fading. The solitary predator with no social structure is running a distributed social network across thousands of kilometers, in total silence, for millions of years. When cubs separate from their mother, the bond is supposed to end. Littermates have been documented visiting the same locations within days of each other for up to 3 years after separation. Not by coincidence, by choice. The tiger does not forget its family. It simply never mentions them. 2001, Sikhote Allen Reserve. Researchers began monitoring a young female, 2 years old. They gave her a field designation, and then, as tends to happen with an animal you watch for 20 years, they gave her a name, Olga. Over 22 years, 11 cubs, a territory of 1,200 square kilometers, 2 prey population collapses. She survived both. Successful hunting until the age of 20, 3 years beyond the documented upper limit for wild female tigers. She died at 24, in the same territory she was born in. Today, her daughter patrols the northern edge of Olga's range. The same land, the same bloodline, for over 20 years. Every individual Siberian tiger has a consistent kill method, a preferred approach angle, a characteristic way of positioning the body after the strike. These patterns are stable enough that experienced researchers can identify which individual made a kill without camera trap confirmation. The tiger develops a personal technique across hundreds of hunts and applies it for its entire life. And its strike pattern, established before birth, encoded in the skin itself, means its identity is written permanently on its body. No 2 individuals identical, not even littermates. Each tiger is a single, unrepeatable record. In 1940, the global population reached its lowest recorded point, fewer than 40 individuals. 40 in the entire world. Decades of protection reversed the collapse. Today, there are approximately 500. It is one of the only large predator recoveries in the history of conservation biology, and it is fragile. The population remains genetically narrow. A single sustained poaching surge could begin the collapse again within a generation. The 500 that exist today are not a safe number. They are a reprieve. Remove the tiger from the taiga, and more than 40 dependent species begin to fail within years. Deer populations explode. Vegetation is stripped. Riverbanks erode. Forest structures disappear. The cascade is measurable, documented, and faster than most people expect. One predator per 4,000 square kilometers, holding an entire ecological system in balance for 2 million years. The tiger is not just living in the taiga, it is running the taiga. 60 years of research, every tool available, and it still produces field notes that make the people writing them go quiet. Not because something violent happened, because something happened that should not have. Something the models do not account for. Something that points at a question we have not yet learned to ask correctly. There is a behavior researchers call the false territory. A Siberian tiger, upon detecting a rival male nearby, will sometimes lay down a dense concentration of scent marks across an area it does not actually intend to patrol. A performance of occupancy, a bluff. The rival reads the marks, registers saturation level territorial presence, and adjusts its route accordingly. The area remains empty. The tiger never returns to it. Scientists documented this across 7 individual males over 5 years. The animals were not fighting for territory. They were negotiating it through deliberate misrepresentation, through what can only be described as strategic deception at a landscape scale. There is also this. In 2007, researchers tracking a GPS-collared tiger watched it swim 8 kilometers across the Amur River. Not pursuing prey, not fleeing anything. It spent 4 hours on the far bank, then swam back. The leading interpretation is exploration. The tiger went to see what was there. In 2015, a camera trap recorded a female tiger carrying a 3-month-old cub across a fast-moving river, water at chest height. The cub held by the scruff of the neck, clear of the water, for the entire crossing. The cub appeared at the same camera trap the following week, alive, healthy. Researchers who have spent careers on this species describe a particular moment that changed how they thought about the work. Not a dramatic moment, not a hunt or a territory fight. A quiet one. A tiger alone in the forest doing nothing, moving through its territory the way it has moved for 2 million years, unbothered, unhurried, completely itself. And the researcher watching realizing that despite everything they have recorded, the GPS tracks, the DNA, the thousands of hours of footage, they do not know what this animal knows, what it thinks about, what it remembers, what it understands about the forest it has been running for longer than our species has existed. In every documented encounter between a researcher and a wild Siberian tiger that ended without incident, and most do, the tiger made the choice to leave. It was not outrun. It was not frightened off. It assessed the situation, made a decision, and walked away. 500 animals, each one making that choice somewhere in the taiga every day. 500. The question no one has yet found the right words for. We do not have much time to find them.